Good morning. So I didn't plan on making a video today, but I just had the weirdest experience in class that I've ever had. So I'm coming up on been doing this for a year and I don't have that many crazy stories. I don't have any underwear stories. Actually, that's not true. One time a grandpa walked by in his tidy whities, but the nose picking, like the kids picking their nose the whole class, like I've been through that. But this, and I've been through littles who cry almost the whole lesson and you just get them at the end and they finally talk to you. But this was different. This was my first class of the day, and the student has had 116 classes, looks to be about 12 by the birth date. So I got the distracted warning in the teacher to teacher. This is what it says. Bao Bao was extremely distracted today by friends. He hardly participated in the free talk class at all. I assume from other teacher comments that he could understand and answer questions, but to a teacher that has never met him, it seemed like he was struggling. Okay, and he's working on like days of the week, and some of it says it's too easy for him. Um, so he's over it, is what it sounds like to me. So I go into this class today thinking, we're gonna have fun, because I get that a lot where they're bored and then they come to me and we have fun and then they come back. So I'm excited going in. All right. So he doesn't talk to me. He didn't talk to me, not one word. I hear mom in the background, and she's obviously been yelling at him. He sounds like he's been crying. So the class starts off, and I can barely see his head. Um, and I can hear that he's crying. Like, not really, he's just sniffling like he's been crying. He's been fighting with his mom. And I can hear mom in the background. And hey, I yell at my kids, but in Chinese, it always sounds so much more harsh because just of the tones. And um, I think of them kind of like you think of maybe Italians, or I don't know, like they're really yelly, like they're loud. I don't know. I've heard parents talk like that and not be upset. That's just how they talk. But they were obviously fighting, and it was really awkward. So for 15 minutes, I tried to get him to free talk with me. Um, I did not give up. But I told him, I said, you have to talk to me. What do you want to talk about? And then I just started talking about I like to surf. Uh, Chonglang, just trying to interest him, like, oh, I can speak a little Chinese. Um, and, where would you like to travel to? Because it was about travel. And I literally kept talking for 15 minutes, but I would tell him, if you don't speak to me, I'm going to have to contact VIP Kid because we're supposed to be speaking. Um, and mom kept coming in and yelling at him. And then it's so awkward, it's across the world, but you feel like the elephant in the room, so awkward. So I contacted the firemen. They didn't come. They didn't come. So finally, I changed my issue because I had contacted him right away when the student was not on the screen, and I just said can't see student. So when I went back, I canceled that because nothing was happening, and I put other issue, student behavior issue. Boom, they're there. Okay, I made sure first that it was an issue and that I could not coax the student out, because I don't like to be the bell ringer, like, oh, I'm calling VIP Kid right now if you don't talk to me, right? I want to be that teacher who they want to talk to. It didn't work today, guys. I failed again. I've been getting lessons in failure all the time, but it's okay. And the firemen called the parent, and first they observed. I'm sure they were seeing that I was talking, he wasn't, and seeing my little messages, because I would write in the chat box, the student is not talking to the teacher, and I even wrote the student appears to be crying. And I took screenshots and, covered myself. But anyway, the fireman ended up saying this class has been canceled. It will be marked student no show. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but I just worked for 15 minutes of this. Like, yes, I mean, I'm still gonna get that student no-show pay. But it was not as easy as a student no-show, let me tell you. So it would kind of be cool if they would just mark it as, student IT or whatever. But Anywho, had a few minutes now. I should have done something besides make a video before my next class, but I know that compared to that, this next class is going to be amazing. We're going to have a conversation, and usually it goes so well. So when it goes like that, you just have to realize that whatever's going on in that student's life, they don't want to do this right now. And that's not your problem. You just have to keep smiling, do the appropriate things so that you don't get in any trouble. Don't yell. Um, you know, Try your best and contact, your technical support. So, let me know if this has ever happened to you with an older student. I think this student was 13. Um, yeah. So I have another 12-year-old next, a free talk again. So I'm excited to talk about all the things. So happy teaching. Goodbye. All right. So I have another class in 4 minutes. I've had three this morning only, but it's felt very long. And it's so funny because they're 12 and 13-year-olds. I've had three that were 12 and up. And again they're just kind of bored until we start talking, and this student and I started talking about basketball. As soon as he said he liked basketball, I said, "Oh, teacher is sad today. Do you know why I am sad?" And he knew. He said he had a really hard time forming sentences, but I got him to get interested, and then he wanted to try to talk, and then I could bridge that gap by saying, say it like this, you know. um, a lot of these older students, I feel like they kind of have a wall up because they're in that preteen stage. So if I go in saying, say it like this, say it like this, repeat, they're just gonna be like, "Ugh, lame, more lame teacher," right? So there's this niche of like, I know about what you're talking about. So whenever we get on basketball, it's awesome. So that helps. But I also got to use this question, which I rarely use. If you could meet someone famous, who would you meet? And I usually have to say like meet, and I'm really careful I hardly use this one because it usually gets a right. So he actually took some time to look up who he wanted to meet, and it was Kobe Bryant. And so the basketball connection goes on and on. So we ended up having a good lesson. Um, some of these older students, they can do the VIP kid lesson, but when it comes to the free talk VIP kid lesson, they have a really hard time forming their own sentences. So you really have to carefully pull it out of them. I think it really is an art. And I'm tired. After three classes, I'm just like, oh my gosh, please let this girl. I have a girl coming next, and they said she has IT issues, but hopefully, as long as she's giving me her energy and her attention, it's so much easier than having to like, oh, come on, please talk to me. So, yeah, okay, 2 minutes till class. I will check back. All right, so I finished my classes. And would you believe that I only had four classes today, but I am exhausted. Okay, I had five, but I had that one that I told you about that was not really a class. So let me tell you that my last two classes were amazing, and I have had older students all day. So we had so much fun. And basketball, three times my students said that they like basketball. So basketball is huge in China right now, even bigger than soccer. And even though the NBA finals are over, this is a great subject with your students. So I had my student tell me they'd like to meet Kobe Bryant, and he like looked it up online. And my most recent student said he liked the Rockets, and he was looking up words to tell me when I asked him questions. He really was trying, and I thought that was so sweet. Um, and we just had the best class. It was the free talk class about going to a theme park. I love free talk because I am in control of the conversation. I don't have to use the screen very much. It's just a little guide. So we talked about if he likes to ride roller coasters, and then I've helped him say, "No, I'm afraid of heights." And we talked about cotton candy. He didn't know what it was, so I showed him a picture of cotton candy. When I asked him about the cinema, if he goes to the cinema, he said he looked it up and he said, "I like to watch multiple series." And I said, "Oh, like Harry Potter?" Yes, they love Harry Potter too. So there's so much to talk about, and this student was just very responsive. He said his favorite basketball player was Jordan, and then he typed in and he said he really liked Durant. Like Durant. He was saying he told me that Kevin Durant got hurt last game, and that he had surgery. So he was looking this up and telling me, and I know exactly what he's talking about, and it is such a wonderful connection. So I told him that VIP Kid has JCL classes that are basketball. If you're not certified for this and you like basketball, send in a ticket and see if you can get certified to teach Junior Creators League basketball for VIP Kid. I recommend it to my students that like basketball. So in the feedback, I'm also going to write about the course and tell them you should take this course. So let the parents know that it is out there and it exists, and it would be something that their student would be interested in talking about, and they get to create a project. So all that said, the older kids can be difficult or they can be amazing. But I really like having a balance. And so today I had all older students, and it was a little bit tiring in a different way. When I have all younger preschool, 6 year olds all day, um, I'm tired in a different way. So it's just so interesting, this job. And I haven't been doing these confessionals as much, but I miss them. I miss talking about my initial reactions to this job because it is just so amazing. A few more things that I do. If it comes up, I ask the student their Chinese name. And it's especially helpful when you have a student who is struggling pronouncing English words, because then I try to pronounce their name, and I usually need them to tell me a few times and help me say it correctly. And I feel like it really breaks the ice. Like, I stink at Chinese, so it's okay that you're, needing help with your English, and that's what we're here for, to help each other. So with these older students, I guess my main reaction today is you really just have to build this bond with them, and it's incredible because they are in that secondary learning phase of their life of where they can conceptualize larger thoughts, and it's just beautiful. I can't tell you. I feel like I go to China every day and meet students from all over. For instance, yesterday I taught a student who was in Hainan. It's this little tiny island at the bottom of China. They call this the chicken foot. So I went and looked it up after class before I did my feedback, and it's called China's answer to Hawaii. And so it's just their little Hawaii or whatever. Lots of buildings, a lot more people than Hawaii will hopefully ever have on their beaches. But how cool is it that one minute I'm here and one minute I'm way over there, a different part of China, different student, um, and I have this little chance to impact their feeling towards English or towards America or about themselves. I can make them feel good about themselves, and I don't know. Uh, it's been a good morning. Honestly, thinking about taking tomorrow off though. I'm gonna go check if any of my classes booked yet, because I kind of just need a little break. And you can feel it coming on, which is why I love 24-hour bookings, is because I have the option to work or not work. And some days I'm just not at my best, and I'm not giving my best to the students, and I know I need a break. So hopefully you can listen for those signs, and hopefully you're gonna have an awesome weekend. I'm not sure when this will get posted, but I really just like to share. So leave your comments below about what you think about the upper level classes. And thank you for watching. Have an awesome day. Had to jump back on. Lipstick's been taken off. I can't take tomorrow off because I opened up the 24-hour slots with Gogokid for the first time. New feature. And my 6:30, and 7 a.m. booked in the 24-hour bookings. So 24-hour bookings are alive and working with Gogokid. So get yourself some. I wanted to take the day off.